anyone new here, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. While walking through the peaceful streets of Kalpatti Agrahara, we came across a small school. Inside, a yoga class was going on, and we paused for a moment to watch. Kalpati or Kalpadi is a residential area in Palakkad city, Kerala, India. It is famous for the Vishwanatha Swami temple, which is located along the banks of the Kalpati river, one of the tributaries of the Bharatapuzha. It is also famous for the Kalpati Rathotsavam, which is an annual car festival taking place in the month of Thulam, November. Three chariots of Lord Shiva, Ganesha, and Kartikeya in the Kalpati Rathotsavam. Kalpati is an Agraharam or traditional village. It is the first heritage village in Kerala. This Tamil migrant Brahmin village is more popular as the hub of Carnatic music in Kerala rather than for the legacy and tradition passed down through the generations for the past 600 years. The similarity of the Vishwanatha Swami temple to the Varanasi Kashi Vishwanatha temple on the banks of Ganges is responsible for the moniker Kasil Pati Kalpati, half Kashi or half Benares, and the term Dakshina Kashi, southern Kashi, associated with this temple. While walking through the peaceful streets of Kalpati Agrahara, I noticed a small sweet in one of the houses nearby. Curious, I asked a local person about it. They smiled and told me it's called Maladu, a traditional sweet made from roasted gram, sugar, ghee, and cardamom. Simple ingredients, but full of flavor and tradition, just like Kalpati itself. But I didn't try it. Kalpati consists of 5 smaller villages, which are Old Kalpati, New Kalpati, Chatapuram, Govindarajapuram, and Manthakara. The beauty of the architecture here, each Brahman quarter sharing walls and adjoined with the next one, forming a linear pattern. The streets that wake up to the Venkatesha Suprabhatam, Vedic Mantha recitals, and Shivastotram, all musical. The rice flour kolam in the front courtyard of each quarter. Idli, sambar, and ghee-rich sweets and savories announcing the glory of Tamil food culture. And the magnificent Rathotsavam celebrated with fervor. All of these constitute the stamp of life in Kalpati. The rolling of heavily decorated majestic temple chariots through the village streets of Kalpati is the major attraction of the car festival. From Kalpati, we started riding towards Nelliyampathi. In between Kalpati and Pothundi, we stopped at a beautiful stretch of greenery, endless paddy fields, fresh air, and peaceful silence. It felt refreshing, but sadly, we also noticed garbage scattered around. In such a beautiful place, seeing waste thrown carelessly really felt disappointing. It made me think about our civic sense and how we treat our own surroundings. When we reached Pothundi Dam, the sun was extremely harsh. As we were walking up the dam, I noticed a group of kids nearby. They saw that I was shooting a video and started watching curiously. After a few seconds, they came closer and asked me, Chetta, what's your channel name? I smiled and told them. Their excitement and curiosity made the moment even more special. It's these small, unexpected interactions that make travel more memorable. The light reflecting off the water was so bright that without my cooling glasses, my eyes would have burned. I could barely keep them open. But even in that intense heat, the view of the reservoir and the Nelliyampathi hills was stunning. Pothundi Dam is one of the oldest dams in Kerala, built in the 19th century during the reign of the Maharaja of Kochi. What makes it unique is that it was constructed using a traditional mixture of lime and jaggery instead of modern cement. Even today, it plays an important role in irrigation, supporting the farming fields of the region. Standing there, under the blazing sun, looking at this historic structure surrounded by nature, it felt like a perfect pause before continuing our ride towards Nelliyampathi. Below the dam, there was a small garden area with a statue standing quietly in the middle. The place had a calm, relaxed vibe despite the bright sun above. As we walked around, I suddenly noticed a few monkeys moving around the trees. They were playful and alert, jumping from one spot to another. Of course, I couldn't resist. I took out my camera and shot them all. It added a fun and lively moment to our stop at Pothundi. By the way, I just realized something while editing. I didn't notice that my cap was coming into the frame in a few shots. Sorry about that, guys. I was so focused on capturing the view that I completely missed it. Hope you'll ignore the cap and enjoy the beautiful moments instead. From Pottundi, we continued our ride towards Nelliyampathi. Before the climb began, there was a long, straight stretch of road, calm and open, almost like a gentle warning before the real adventure started. Soon we reached the checkpost, where we had to register our names before entering the hill road. And then, the hairpin bends began. One after another, sharp curves winding through the forest, each turn taking us higher into the hills. The air slowly became cooler, and the scenery more dramatic. As we continued the climb, the road slowly got steeper, and thick forests surrounded us on both sides. Tall trees, filtered sunlight, and that cool hill breeze. The whole stretch felt peaceful and refreshing. It almost felt like we were riding through a green tunnel. And that's when my father cracked the usual cliche Malayalam joke.
ഈ ഫോറസ്റ്റ് മൊത്തം കാടാണല്ലോ.
From there, the view was just amazing. You could clearly see Pothundi Dam below, the calm reservoir shining under the sun, surrounded by greenery. Looking down at the place we had just visited felt surreal. The winding road, the dam, the vast plains, everything looked small from up there. Soon, the landscape opened up and we could see vast tea plantations stretching along the slopes. The neatly lined green bushes glistened under the sun, and the slopes created beautiful patterns across the hills. It was mesmerizing, a perfect example of how nature and human cultivation coexist here. As someone who's always been a forest and mountain kind of guy, I can't help but fall in love with places like this. I've always enjoyed camping, trekking, and just being surrounded by trees and hills. There's something about the smell of the earth, the rustling leaves, and the quiet of the forest that makes me feel completely at peace. Riding through Nelliyampathi, seeing tea plantations, dense forests, and misty valleys, I felt exactly that, completely at home in nature. After the forest climb through Nelliyampathi, we finally reached Seetharkund viewpoint. The moment we stepped out, the cool breeze welcomed us. But the view wasn't as clear as we hoped. A layer of fog had settled over the valley, giving everything a mystical, dreamy feel. Even though we couldn't see the full expanse of the hills and valleys, the fog added its own charm. The hills peeked through here and there, and the clouds seemed to merge with the landscape below. Standing there, it felt quiet, calm, almost magical, like being in another world. On the way back to our room after Seetharkund, we stopped at a quiet spot along the road. I decided to make some coffee using my camping tools, my small stove, kettle, and all the gear I usually carry for trekking. There's something so satisfying about brewing coffee in the middle of nature, away from the noise of the city. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mixed with the cool hill air, and we just sat there for a few minutes, sipping and enjoying the view. Simple moments like these make a trip feel truly special.
we finally reached the farm, we noticed it was almost closing. The staff kindly let us in after we requested tickets, and that gave us some time to explore. The farm wasn't just vegetables, it had a mix of plants, flowers, and different types of crops. Walking through the rows, we could see fresh, leafy greens, colorful flowers, and plants growing in neat patches. The place was full of life, rows of vegetables, plants, and flowers of different colors, including bright sunflowers and other normal plants. Walking through it felt like stepping into a small paradise. And then I spotted a treehouse. My father and I couldn't resist. We climbed up to get a better view. From the top, the whole farm looked even more beautiful, with the colorful flowers, green crops, and surrounding hills stretching out in every direction. It was playful, fun, and gave us a completely different perspective of the farm. As we continued walking inside the farm, the pathway itself was beautiful. A neat walkway guided us through the plantation, surrounded by yellow colored flowers and orange stone plants on both sides. The colors were so vibrant, bright yellows glowing under the sunlight, and the orange plants blending perfectly with the greenery around. It almost felt like walking through a carefully painted garden. Every few steps, there was something new to see: vegetables, flowers, citrus plants, and different shades of green all around. That peaceful 30-minute walk, surrounded by colors and fresh hill air, made the experience even more special. After spending the day exploring Seetharkund, the colorful farm, and enjoying our little coffee break in the hills, we slowly headed back to our room. The mist, the greenery, and the calmness of Nelliyampathi stayed with us. That night, as we rested, we made a plan for the next day. Our journey would continue towards Attapadi, a new road, new landscapes, and another adventure waiting for us.